right, this could be getting a little scary here. The Ebola virus, I did want to remind you about that, it's still an issue. It's rapidly mutating as it spreads throughout West Africa now, and it's not airborne yet. But Dr. Ernest Patti says if this keeps mutating, it might just be a matter of time. What is going on with this? We were talking during the break, Doctor, about the fact that it is mutating rather quickly. What does that mean?
Well, the virus is following the normal pattern and progression that most viruses do. Viruses are designed by nature to mutate. The important thing is that the researchers and the folks that are following this can stay on top of the mutations and stay one step ahead, or at least on par with the virus while it mutates, to be able to figure out which types of vaccines and or medications they can develop.
But those vaccines lose their efficacy if it changes so fast.
They do, but sometimes they can alter the vaccine and or the way it attacks the virus based on the way the virus mutates. So it's exciting science, and the good thing is in today's world, this is happening real time, whereas even a few years ago, this could take a year or 2 years to figure out the genetic codes. They're doing it much quicker today.
But we already know that the vaccine isn't foolproof. In other words, a couple of people have died even after taking it. Now, there could be all sorts of reasons and anomalies for that, but it does give you pause, does it not?
Oh, of course it gives us pause. I mean, when we look at regular viruses that we deal with every day, such as the common cold or even influenza when the epidemic occurs every year, you look at those things and they mutate as well. And they're a great cause for concern. Something like this, which is much more virulent or more deadly, if you must, we need to really keep an eye on it and stay.
Right now, it's virulent and deadly largely on the African continent. It hasn't spread here to any large or notable degree. What could change that?
If the way that the virus spreads, maybe if it develops an airborne transmission type of spread and it gets a little...
What would make it do that?
The way it mutates. You know, I'm not a microbiologist, but I know from my study of viruses and the like that if the virus would mutate and become easier to transmit airborne, then that might allow it to spread past the...
much more rapidly and much more dangerously.
Yeah, possibly.
But we're not there yet.
No.
But the world, much of the Western world, as a sort of a calm reaction to this thing, well, it's a mess in Africa. It's not a mess here. What do you tell people who just sort of say, no big deal?
Well, no, I don't tell them that. What I tell them is common sense has to reign here as always. We need to stay on top of this because any type of outbreak or epidemic like this that you just turn your back on for even a few moments can then multiply and spread even faster.
But a number of those African airports, those countries, they're sort of letting down their guard. They're reopening, being very careful who they get on the planes and all, but they've gone from being totally shut down to opening more airports, allowing more in. Something could slip through the cracks.
That's always a possibility, but we can't stop folks from from traveling, you know, and going to visit and carry on their daily business, or at least in a civilized world, we can't do that. Vigilance is important. Checking for folks who are ill, looking for the telltale signs of infection or people who may be ill, and at least screening them much more carefully than maybe we have done in the past will be our best defense against spreading this beyond the borders.
Dr. Calming and reassuring words as you were last time in the middle of all this. I appreciate it, sir.
We have to remain calm, always.
There you go. I know.